Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to dive right into the foundational elements of organizational strategy and figure out what actually separates a brilliant blueprint from, well, empty corporate jargon. Look, we've all seen them, right? Those framed statements hanging on lobby walls that sound super impressive but mean absolutely nothing to the people actually working there. Today, we're tearing those down and figuring out how real, effective strategy is built.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the strategic foundation, break down the 5 pillars of strategy, see that alignment in action, evaluate some statements, and finish up with an ultimate makeover.
All right, let's jump right into part 1, the strategic foundation. Before any leader can allocate a single dollar or evaluate performance, every organization has to answer these fundamental questions to establish its identity and future direction. I mean, you literally can't decide how fast to drive if you don't even know where you're going. This isn't just some academic exercise. Answering where are we going and why do we exist acts as a true north compass for your employees, investors, and customers. It inspires real commitment. Without this, your strategy is just a collection of vague slogans that provide zero value to managers trying to make tough decisions.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 5 pillars of strategy.
So, to answer those massive existential questions, we really need to understand the 5 strategic pillars, and we'll start with the vision statement. Your vision is purely future-oriented and aspirational. It's that ultimate destination that inspires your team to imagine what long-term success actually looks like. It answers one critical question: what do we want to become? It needs to be clear, it needs to be distinctive, and most importantly, it should motivate people to work toward a shared, meaningful future. Now, if the vision is your destination, the mission statement is your vehicle. It operates entirely in the present. It clearly defines what you do, who you serve, and exactly how you create value today. A great mission statement answers why do we exist by outlining your target customers, your products or services, and the unique value proposition you bring to the market right now. Next up, we have core values. Think of core values as the rules of the road. They answer, what do we stand for? And they shape how the organization treats all its stakeholders, from the employees to the broader community. You'll commonly see things like integrity, excellence, or sustainability. But honestly, here is where most organizations get it completely wrong. This brilliantly illustrates the crucial point. Values absolutely cannot be decorative. If you claim integrity or innovation, it has to be reflected in actual leadership behavior and policies. If your core value is innovation, but your managers punish employees for taking calculated risks, well, you don't actually value innovation, you just value having the word on a poster. Moving to the 4th pillar, we have goals. Goals act as the milestones on your journey. They're broad statements of desired outcomes, like deciding to improve customer satisfaction or increase market share. They give broad direction and tell managers what to prioritize. But notice, they don't have specific measurements attached to them just yet. And that brings us to our final pillar, objectives. If goals are the milestones, objectives are the exact GPS coordinates. They are precise targets used for planning and monitoring, answering exactly what must be achieved, by when, and how we're going to measure success. To write a truly bulletproof objective, you're going to want to use the SMART model, ensuring your target hits these 5 exact criteria. It has to be specific, measurable, achievable given your actual resources, relevant to the overall mission, and time-bound with a strict deadline. What's really interesting here is how this transforms a vague goal like improve customer satisfaction into a measurable, SMART objective. By targeting a specific increase from 82% to 90% by the end of the fiscal year through improved service training, you've suddenly given your team a crystal clear target. Because as the saying goes, you can't manage what you don't measure.
All right, Section 3, strategic alignment in action.
Listen, those 5 pillars are totally useless if they don't connect to one another. Strategic alignment is where the magic really happens. Using a sustainable food company as an example, look at how perfectly the micro feeds the macro here. The specific objective of increasing local sales by 25% directly achieves the broader goal of expanding market reach. That goal perfectly reflects their core values of sustainability. Those values dictate their daily mission to produce affordable food, which ultimately pushes them toward their grand vision of being the leading community-based provider. Now that is alignment.
Which leads us to Section 4, evaluating your statements.
So how do we know if an organization's strategy is actually good, or if it's just fashionable words lacking strategic meaning?
Well, we can act like strategy doctors by running statements through this exact critique framework. We check for clarity, ditching the confusing buzzwords. We look for specificity. Does this sound like it could belong to literally any organization, or is it unique to yours? And most importantly, check the strategic direction. A solid statement should actually help leaders decide which opportunities to pursue and which ones to flat out reject. The stark contrast here shows exactly why being the best is a terrible vision. It is wildly vague. I mean, best at what? For whom? But look at the alternative. It identifies a future position, a target area, and clear strategic themes like affordability and innovation. It actually means something.
Okay, Section 5, the ultimate makeover.
Now for the fun part. Let's apply everything we've talked about in this explainer to do a complete teardown and rebuild. Take a look at this before snapshot of a sample local college. To be a world-class institution of excellence. I really want you to think about your own workplace for a second. Does your strategy sound this generic and incomplete? It mentions quality education, but it completely ignores who the learners are, what the community role is, or any sense of true purpose. Let's fix it. So, we fix the vision by stripping out that generic world-class fluff. We replace it with a distinctive, specific future state. Leading community-centered college recognized for practical, innovative, and industry-relevant education. That actually highlights the educational approach and tells prospective students exactly what kind of graduate direction they can expect.
And we give the mission a major upgrade too, taking it from a broad, forgettable statement into a really powerful tool. The new mission clearly identifies accessibility, the exact type of learners served, ethical, entrepreneurial, and it highlights their broader contribution to economic development. Now, a department head at this college can look at this mission and actually use it to decide which new courses to approve.
To wrap things up and summarize our main takeaways today, your vision defines your future, the mission explains your present purpose, core values guide your daily behavior, and your goals and objectives translate all that high-level strategy into measurable action. While well-crafted statements don't guarantee success all on their own, they are the absolute non-negotiable foundation for aligning your team and driving effective decision-making.
I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to evaluate your own company's blueprint. Look at your vision statement when you go to work tomorrow. If you actually achieved it, would it just be another day at a generic office? Or would it measurably change the world you operate in? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking the tough questions, and I'll see you next time.